I myself, I nearly got initiated into the prophetic kingdom of darkness. They gave me this golden walking stick. You have seen them with these golden walking sticks, and you have been wondering, is it because they can't balance when they are walking? Is it because they've become of age? Or is it fashion? It's not. All these mysterious jewelry elements or instruments that you see them carrying, from the golden rings that have that red topping that I explained to you that it has a dried sample of blood, to the swords that you see them carrying when they are making declarations, to the belts, to the chains, gold chains, and these walking sticks. All these are spiritual items that connects you, covenanted spiritual items that cements your relationship with the occultic kings of darkness. Jerry Easy and Joshua Selman finished their own initiation by receiving those souls from Duncan Williams. Ever since they took them, have you seen how fast their ministries are growing? Have you seen how influential Jerry is constantly becoming? Have you seen how Joshua Salman is dominating in the industry? My people, let me tell you a short story. I've always said this, but people misunderstand me. The prophetic is a diabolical movement. And I don't say this out of bitterness. Neither do I say it to pull down your prophets, your men of God. I have no personal vendetta against them. But I'll tell you this for a fact. It has nothing to do with what you think it stands for. The prophetic has destroyed lives. The prophetic is destroying lives. When I say the prophetic, I'm referring to the movement of prophets, the so-called prophets. You see them as servants of God. They've made you believe that they are servants of God. But they are just a misrepresentation of the actual reality that you perceive them to be standing for. These men are part of a system that is diabolic. I'll give you a quick insight about what nearly happened to me. Have you ever heard the word dangled in your face? Have you ever heard riches, wealth dangled in your face? Power, influence dangled in your face? Just like the scenario of Jesus Christ in the wilderness, when he was approached by the devil and was tempted to bow down to him so that he can have access, control, and riches of the world. I was in that very same position at one point in my life. The story is quite long, but I'll just try to shorten it so that you can have an insight of what we talk about when we refer to the prophetic. Most of you are familiar with the walking stick. There are so many elements that you get to receive when you join this movement of the prophetic. So many different instruments that most of you don't even understand what they stand for. In my previous video, we spoke about the ring, the one that has a red knob on top that most of you perceive to be a marble, or some they say, no, it's a purple marble, it's part of a jewelry, whatnot. You don't know what you're talking about. Might look purple, but what is inside? Let's leave the ring aside. They have a walking stick. They have belts. They have some chains that they put all over their waist. Some even have neck pieces. If you don't pay close attention to some of the jewelries that they wear, the symbols on the jewelries, you may not understand, because most of you observe them from a distance. But I was at a stage whereby I was handed over a stick, the walking stick, that had a golden knob. It was pure gold. I will not mention who handed it over to me or who gifted me that walking stick. Honestly speaking, I admired the people that I used to see with these walking sticks. Some of them, they use them for, to those of you who know walking sticks are for those people that can't really balance. They are barely used for fashion. They are barely used as a style. But when it comes to the prophetic, they symbolize something that is deeper than it just being a walking stick. It's not just a symbol. You see, the entire tube of the walking stick and that knob, you can literally unscrew it. It's heavy, and you're not allowed to shade or to hand it over to anyone. The man who gave me, he told me, you know what? This is a special gift that I'm giving to you. He's a very powerful man. This is a special gift that I'm giving to you. But listen, I would not be happy if I'm to see it with anyone else. So I would rather you just hold on to it with jealousy. It means so much to me and I'm giving it to you. Please keep it so safe. Never let it in the hands of any other person. It brought me luck in my life. So I'm hoping that it brings luck in your life as well. But if it changes hands, it might divert the luck that is supposed to come your way, the fortunes that are supposed to come your way. So I would rather have you keep it to yourself. Never let any other person get hold of it. This stick is very spiritual. It was prayed for by very, very powerful men of God. So he said. And I believed him. I took this stick. I always had it. I can tell you one thing about these occultic systems. They are well connected. They have a network of powerful people. If you are in their system, you don't lack. There is no door that I couldn't open. There is nothing that I longed for that I couldn't have. There is no connection that I did not have. Business-wise, your life becomes like it's on autopilot. You are literally just attracting all these beautiful things that we consider to be beautiful things, that we consider to be representations of success. You drive with an entire entourage. You walk around with 8 bodyguards. Not because there's anyone who was out there to harm you, but the money that you be accumulating, it will be too much that you just feel like it's necessary for you to have this kind of presence wherever you go. So I had this stick for 1 or 2 months. And my relationship with this guy, it kept getting stronger, and you call me for meetings, we'll do meetings, and he's a man of God, by the way. A very powerful man of God. I will not mention his name, but he's a very powerful man of God, and he has a very, 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 very huge ministry. And I did not attend his church. I was not going to his church. How we met and all those other details, I'll probably reveal them as we go. But he has introduced me to very powerful people as well. Business people outside of ministry that I was doing business with, that I was conducting business with. Because their network does not allow them to conduct business with any other person that is not part of that network. They do have anything that you can think of. They do have anything that you hope to have, as sober as you are. To all the sober-minded, hard-working people out there, there are things that you are working hard for, that you wish to have in this life. They have access to all those things. They have those things in abundance. But I'll tell you something before I even proceed. All the riches that you see them having, all the material things that you see them with, they have no peace of mind. They don't. They are haunted. Do not admire anything that you see them with. Be it the latest G-Wagon, be it a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, any material thing that you see anyone with. If you don't know how they got it, don't be tempted to envy. If you do not have an idea of how they accumulated that wealth, don't even be jealous. Just be motivated and be patient and know that one day your day is coming. And when your day comes, after you've put in the work, the hard work, you do not have any cults that you have joined, that you are part of, you will enjoy. These men have no peace of mind. So fast forward. The man who actually saved me, I think I have so many pictures when I was walking around with this stick everywhere I go. That's what he told me. Listen, if you want doors to open for you, you need to be holding this stick everywhere you go. I did not understand what this whole thing was about. I just thought this is a mentor that is coming in my life who was just divine sent. He's just my breakthrough. He's my Moses. He's taking me to the promised land. And everything was Gucci those days. I can tell you one thing for sure. I was a top G. So fast forward. I met Lukau. He's actually the man who saved me without knowing that he's saving me. At one point, I was at his office. And when he saw this stick, it got him wondering. And curiously, he asked me, how did you get this stick? Who got you this stick? This is pure gold, He's trying to hold it, but I'm keeping it away from him. This is actually pure gold. I was like, yes, it is. Can I feel the weight? Now I'm remembering that I was told not to hand this thing over to anyone. Now I said, no, Papa, let's just take a picture. No, I'll show you. It's no. And then I just brushed it off. But his curiosity, the curiosity in his mind, like, oh, so are you also, he wanted to say something, you understand? I could see in his eyes. He wanted to say something. He was so surprised that how did I get it? Because he also has one. So that got me wondering, to say, what is it about this stick that got Lukau so concerned, that made him so curious? I let it slide on that day. I started having these thoughts when I was already home. The next week I went back to him. I was like, I did not go with the stick this time. I was like, so what is the deal with your own stick? It's almost the same as mine. Where did you get yours? Like, oh, mine, I got it from my son. He's in, what is it? Was it Malaysia or somewhere outside of the world, outside of Africa? Like, oh, really? Can I feel it? And he resisted. It got me worried. It got me worried. It made me realize that, okay, the guy that gave me this stick told me I should not let anyone touch it. And I'm asking Lukau so that I touch his. He's also saying I can't touch it. No, don't worry. No, you can't. He just gave a lame reason. I was very, very worried. Fast forward. I started wondering, and I started putting one and two together. I started doing an audit, compiling all the DDGOs, looking at their patterns and how they move. I started picking up some anomalies. Lukau has it. This man of God has it. And I started asking myself, these must be spiritual items. This must be something that is bigger than what I think. I ignored it. I stopped walking around with it because I was already curious and I was already worried about its significance and what it symbolized. So fast forward again. This my guy calls me. Like, you know what? Let's meet. We need to talk. Well, there are stages to these things. His whole idea was to plug me. It was to get me involved in this entire system. But he knew that I'm too wise and I'm too clever. So he was not just going to bring it on a silver platter to me to say, listen, I want you to be part of this cult. He knew I'll tell him to go to hell. So what he had to do first was to connect me, introduce me to this lifestyle, so that when you actually finally break the ice, it will be difficult for me to say no. You get what I'm saying? Because when I say no, it literally means that I'm going to lose everything again. So I was not officially in the cult. I was in the process of getting involved. The problem is he was not giving me the bigger picture. He was trying to trick me and get me involved unconsciously in some type of way. So we're talking and saying, you know what? There's a place in Benin. You're a very young, intelligent man. You have potential. You can conquer Africa. You can do this. You can become that. You can, I see glory on you. I see this shining star over your head. Blah, 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 blah. He says all these nice things, all this inspiring and motivating. I felt a fire in me. Say, oh, dang. I'm king. I should be king. When he was giving me this speech, I felt like I have conquered already. I was just waiting for the moment whereby I have to part the Red Sea so that it divides. So he said, you have to go to Benin. And, there are people that I want to introduce you to. There are some spiritual figures that need to anoint you. They'll be using all these polite terms that need to anoint you. But the actual term here is initiate you. They're big, strong, vibrant spiritual figures there that anointed me. That will give you this power that everywhere you go, they'll feel your presence. Everything you do to come out as a success, everything you touch will turn into gold. This is not the business that I thought this whole thing was about. This thing is spinning into spiritual things. I have to be anointed. What now? It's spinning in my head. But when he's telling me all this in person, I'm not thinking outside of the box. I'm just saying, oh, okay, so when do we go and blah, 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 blah and stuff. So I go home. When I'm home now, I meditate. I think through everything that transpired in my day. So I'm sitting there, I'm analyzing each and every word that he was uttering at that moment. And I'm putting 1 and 2 together. And I'm adding 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3. I'm looking at that stick. I'm tempted to open it. Because like I told you, it has this golden knob on top. And it does have threads. You can literally tighten it and you can open it. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, And him is even telling me that, these are the men that gave me all this power and all this influence. You need to go and meet them. You need to go. Because when you are at a certain level in this occultic kingdom, you get promoted or you get a higher ranking if you bring more promising and young men that have potential to spread this occultic network. That's the very same case with Duncan Williams. You see, Duncan Williams targeted young, upcoming, vibrant preachers like Joshua Selman and Jerry Eze. You do not know the entire story of Jerry Eze and Joshua Selman. They were given swords. Their initiation was of swords. Joshua Selman was given a sword. He accepted it, but he was tricked as well. If you go and rewatch that video when Joshua Selman was handed over the sword of Freemason by Duncan Williams, it was very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. He did not see it coming. That's how they do their thing. They put you in a position whereby you can't say no. He just had to accept it, and the moment he accepted it, he gave it away quickly to his PA or whoever to go and put it somewhere. But on Duncan Williams' part, he had already succeeded in recruiting Joshua Selman to this occultic system. With Jerry Eze, the same. He was handed over the sword. He started making declarations with that sword. After then, look at Jerry now, how big he is. Look at his influence. They give you the word. They give you the connections. They open up doors for you. As long as you submit to their demands. Like I told you, it's a long story. So I'm here looking at the stick. And I'm wondering what I should do with it. I'm calculating. I'm adding 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. Should I open it? Should I keep it? If I give it back, what are the consequences? Remember, I'm not yet part of the system. I'm not part of the whole thing. I'm still in the process of being lured to be part of the system. So there comes the biggest decision that I had to make for my life and for myself. Should I join the bandwagon of becoming rich quick? Or should I opt to eat for what I kill and labor for what I have to eat? Many of you put in my position. What decision would you make? You have the entire world at present in your face, the money, the fame, everything. And you have you having to climb the ladder of success 1 step at a time by your own effort. It's a hard decision to make, isn't it? But yeah, I chose the hard way. Easy life comes with terms and conditions. There's no free lunch in this life. There is no free lunch. Everything you get for free, you will pay a steep price for it. To be continued, my people. I'll tell you this full story in the second episode, just so that you understand that these things that you see are a mere representation of things that you do not understand. The ring, the walking sticks, the belts, the chains. It's a whole lot of things. The swords. I'll let you more. I'll let you in more details about everything.